Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us Across the Fence. I'm Fran Stoddard. It is the first Thursday of the month, which means it's recipe time on Across the Fence. Joining me are our chefs, Carolyn Peak from Williamstown and Marco Ayala from South Hero. Our theme for today is locally grown. Whether it's from your own garden or a local farm stand, there are plenty of choices when it comes to cooking with your favorite local foods. Carolyn and Marco have several recipes to show you in just a minute. But before we get to our chefs, I want to congratulate Teresa Tamer of Winooski. Teresa is the winner of our free cookbook drawing from last month. Teresa, you'll be receiving your cookbook in the mail any day now, and we trust you'll find plenty of recipes to share with your family and friends. This month's free drawing is for the cookbook Cooking Together. It's full color and all about having fun in the kitchen with children. The 108-page book is perfect for parents or grandparents. All you have to do to enter the free drawing is to send along your name and contact information to the address that I'll highlight at the end of the show. Now, to get our recipe started, I'm going to turn things over to Carolyn.
Okay.
All right, let's see what you got.
Yes. Well, now I hope that you folks have, either finished your lunch so that you're not going to just sit there drooling while you watch this, or something so that this is going to be a good thing for you. My first recipe is turkey Creole, and it has got vegetables from top to bottom with some turkey thrown in for good measure. It has tomatoes, it has celery, onions, garlic, green pepper, just lots and lots of yummy stuff, good for you stuff. And then the turkey, of course, is really good for you. But that's something, it's kind of a spicy-ish dish, but it's not too bad. I didn't think I was really going to like it, but I do. Now my second recipe is a broccoli salad. And again, this is stuffed. It has a large bunch of broccoli, some mayo, some vinegar, red onions, sunflower seeds, and raisins. I love this combination. And you can make it up ahead of time, put it in the refrigerator, even for a couple days. It'll sit there and wait for you. And it's another really yummy, good for you salad, but good salad at the same time. Now maybe you'd like to have a nice, cool, more sweet salad. This can either be a side dish or it can be a dessert. I think you could use it for either one. And this is a raspberry salad. It takes raspberry jello, the boiling water, some sugar, etc., frozen raspberries, crushed pineapple, and then there's sour cream. Now, I've done this with raspberries because that was what the recipe called for. But if you have other favorite things, you could do this with strawberries, you could do it with, just about any fruit that you can find a jello that sort of matches. You might want to do blueberries with just the berry blue jello that they have. You put part of the jello in the bottom of the pan. Let that get fairly firm. You put the sour cream on top of that, refrigerate it for about 15 minutes, and then put the rest of the jello mixture on top of that, put it in the refrigerator, and it is just a really nice, cool salad. Now for dessert, it's called a raw apple cake. I don't know why, because once you have cooked the cake, the apples are no longer raw. But it's a good way to use up some apples. It also takes some chopped nuts, so if you've got a tree in your yard that does the nuts, maybe you've got I don't know. I don't know what people have in their yards anymore. But this is the apple cake. It has chunks of apple just all through it. And it says that you don't need to put a frosting on it because it makes its own kind of a glaze. Well, I didn't think it was quite glazed enough. So I had some leftover frosting from another project that I did. And while the cake was still very hot, I put a bit of frosting onto it, so it made a nice glaze on it anyway. So that is my offerings for today. Marco, some of that looks pretty good.
Well, good. I gotta tell you, I don't think you can ever have enough glaze or frosting for that matter.
I think you're right.
So, you know, that's just life. That's a fact.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Carolyn.
Okay.
Okay, so this time of the year is so nice for a lot of reasons. You can be outside, it's warm, the food is fresh, and we can use vegetables from our own garden or, you know, not far from home. And as you can see, we have our display here. And the food is good and nutritious, and everything is so good for you when it's fresh. So I want to start my recipes with a main dish. And my main dish is this grilled chicken with quick pickled squash salad. And that is perfect for us here in Vermont because you can get fresh chicken from a local vendor or raise your own. But this recipe uses squash and zucchini, which is plentiful for us. I normally get both from my neighbors who have their own gardens, and you know, then when it's time to get the harvest, you know, they have a lot, so they share with the rest of us in the neighborhood. So that's always nice. To make this recipe, you fast pickle the veggies and vinegar in lemon juice and red wine vinegar, which makes them so much tastier than if you just grill them. Then you add basil and shallot, and while you let them pickle, you work on the chicken, which is basically grilled, and this allows the zucchini flavors to melt together. And then, of course, just make sure to not overcook your chicken breast because, well, we all know that they can get a little dry when you do. So, in any case, this is a wonderful recipe that all your friends and family are going to enjoy. So, I hope you give it a try. Now, let's move on to our next recipe. And my next recipe is this beautiful looking summer shrimp salad. And in here, there's so many veggies. There's tomatoes, there's cucumbers, and this is a great way to use those tomatoes that we're all probably growing in our garden. In fact, I've got some notes from some of the viewers saying that their tomatoes are already ripe. So this is a great way to use them. And as you can see in here, there's a cucumbers, there is basil, there's of course the fresh tomatoes, there's garlic, and the shrimp is grilled or cooked with fresh thyme and olive oil. So this is a great way, like I said, to use all those fresh veggies as a fresh salad that your family is probably really going to enjoy. And again, it's a wonderful dish that if you're looking for something fresh, tasty, and is yet visually good, your guests will be very impressed. And at this point, I want to remind everyone to support your local farms and vegetable growers. Whether it's to get fresh fruit, veggies, eggs, meat, fresh, it always tastes better. And knowing that you're supporting your community and neighbors feels great. So, okay, on that note, now it's time for dessert. And my first dessert is this cookies. Vermont has a lot of tasty things, and in my book, along with maple, fresh strawberries are high up there. So I wanted to incorporate fresh berries into this recipe. And I found a recipe from Eva Compton from Williston, Vermont for this strawberry shortcake cookies. And I figured this was a perfect way to accomplish that, to bring berries and fresh berries into our recipes. But these are not your typical shortcake cookies, because along with the fresh strawberries and the shortcake ingredients like flour, salt, baking powder, sugar, and butter, this recipe also calls for cream cheese and powdered sugar for a filling. So that makes these cookies so much better. And they're definitely worth the effort because your family and friends are going to love them. Thank you, Eva, for sharing this recipe with all of us here at Across the Fence. So if you have a favorite recipe at home and you want to share it with us, please send it along to the address that Fran will give you at the end of the show. And look at that filling right there. It's so good. Now, for my last recipe, I wanted something that was like really, really nice, and of course using peaches, because I love peaches, and I get my peaches from a local farm in South Hero, and they were so good this year that I thought a peach streusel pie would be perfect. And I think this was the right choice because just look at this beauty. 6 cups of fresh peaches, tapioca, sugar, almond extract, lemon juice, and for the filling, and then you top it off with a mixture of butter, rolled oats, flour, walnuts, and brown sugar. And let me tell you, once this pie bakes, it not only looks amazing, but it's also so tasty. So I really hope you give it a try next time you bake a pie. How is this looking,
That
Fran?
looks really good. I love all your recipes.
Hey, I
all of
already
these
have a
today.
piece here right here for you.
I am looking forward to having that.
I'll leave it right here so you can take it with you.
And I love how fresh this is.
And isn't it colorful?
That it's colorful.
I just love how
it's
all the
fresh.
colors, like, come through, and there's like a little contrast in there.
Right. Oh, it looks lovely. I could have had that yesterday for our lunch. Thank you so much, Marco. So as we have a couple of different ways that you can get today's fabulous recipes, you can go online to Across the Fence's website, go to uvm.edu/extension, and click on the link to Across the Fence. You'll find the recipe tab highlighted in green, and that's on the right-hand side of the web page. To get the recipes by mail, send $2 in a stamped, self-addressed business-sized envelope to Locally Grown, Box 188, South Hero, Vermont, 05486. And please remember, if you're ordering the recipes to include $2 and a stamped, self-addressed envelope, we'll use your return address for the free cookbook drawing. And even if you're not ordering the recipes, you can still send along your name and address to be entered in the free drawing. The address again is Box 188, South Hero, and the zip code is 05486. And that's all the time we have for today. My many thanks to our chefs, Carolyn and Marco, and they will be back with us next month to feature some awesome autumn recipes. Yum. In the meantime, once again, thank you for joining us Across the Fence. I'm Fran Stoddard. And thank you both. These are beautiful.
Oh, they look